First of yellow 1.5.
Reaching new heights every day, competitive surfing is becoming increasingly difficult to judge. As the sport's development is pushed by young surfers, the ASP judging panel is continually under pressure to re-evaluate what exactly is good competitive surfing.
I've been at the sport for 20 years now, and what we face now to what we were facing 15 years ago is like chalk and cheese. The whole sport's escalating in leaps and bounds, and naturally over the next few years we're still going to have changes.
The way the judging is at the moment, you know, they want to see those big moves, they want to see the big radical airs, and points are awarded for that. And I think in doing so, the sport's taking off again.
The hanging smoke fades from the beams in the ceiling, looking for vertical.
I know they might not know the technical aspects of airs, which works out to my advantage, because if I do an air, I'm getting big points.
You know, some airs are certainly more difficult than others. That's probably what they'll start learning, I think, in the next few years.
The cold new day air flows over you.
You got to have a pretty thick skin as a judge as well, you know. Like, judging is a subjective sport. You're not going to be able to please everyone.
Judges do have thick skin, and I think all referees and umpires do, because it's a position you can nearly never win in, you know. Everyone's going to criticise you or have their own opinions.
I've been disagreeing with the judges since 1981, mate, you know.
I don't think that any time that a human is judging any sport, be it diving, ballet, anything, there's always someone's not going to be happy.
They do realise if they want to have a chat about things, they can have a talk. And when they do, I'm lucky with the replay system, I can pull up their waves anytime and go over and get their different opinions as well.
You know, I think replay is something that needs to be used even more. The good thing about video is it shows detail and it doesn't lie.
Like some bizarre scientific experiment.
Everyone's got their own sort of likes or dislikes, and the judges are the same. And deep down, it's hard for them to really put that aside and judge the colour. But it's getting there, and you know, the guys we've got up in the panel are pretty good. You know, Perry's got a tight leash on him, and at the moment, it's, like I said before, it's probably the best it's been.
For the quarter-finals of the 2009 Rip Curl Pro Surge, the epic Super Tubos conditions continued for the men in arguably the heaviest waves this year. In a battle of the Bigfoots, B. Durbidge and Geordie Smith went head-to-head in the first quarter-final. Needing a 9.67 with time winding down, Durbidge pulled off a miraculous tube ride, scoring the first perfect 10 of the day.
Kind of held off the bank and I just paddled as hard as I could and dropped in, and then went so round and just spat me out. And the best feeling ever when I come out, they all just hear the big roar, and it's like being in the stadium.
In the second quarter final, it was do or die for Joel Parkinson up against Bobby Martinez. Unfortunately for Martinez, it was a one-sided affair. Parko scoring an 8.60, backing it up with a perfect 10.
It's been a while coming, like a really good wave in a heat. I'm finally glad I got that little monkey off my back, and it feels like the ocean's working with me again, so it's good.
With conditions becoming quite treacherous due to a fast-moving tide, Owen Wright and Damien Hobgood swung into action for quarter-final 3.
Pretty sizey wave, peaked up and paddled into it. Fully bottom just dropped out and just come screaming out of the barrel.
10s all round and full of confidence, Owen looked unstoppable.
The next set I kind of paddled out to it and I just swung round. I don't remember too much from there.
He came out of the water concussed, he didn't know which way he was out. Had to hide his board from him. He was frantic, you know, he wanted his board, he wanted to get back out there.
What actually happened?
Seems like he's slapped the water very hard. The doctors are a little concerned that he may have burst his eardrum.
Despite being removed from the heat early, Wright's phenomenal effort earned him a spot in the semi-finals. In the final heat of the day, current number 1 Mick Fanning took on Timmy Reyes. Coming from behind in the final minutes, Fanning pulled into a beautiful tube, scoring a 9.50 and a place in the semi-finals.
The conditions were so nice, but me and Timmy just couldn't find an exit for so long, and yeah, I was just stoked to get one in the end and yeah, get through.
With slightly smaller but still excellent wave conditions continuing at Super Tubos, the Rip Curl Pro Search semi-finals got underway. Whilst Owen Wright underwent tests by event physicians, Joel Parkinson and B. Durbidge hit the water. Parkinson opened strongly, finding the better of the waves. But as the wind shifted, it was Durbidge who adapted to the changing conditions, booking a spot in the final.
Just to get a third and just to, you know, I guess get back into form is a huge confidence boost, and there's not a great deal of points between me and Mick coming into pipe, so it's still anybody's.
And the cards kept falling Fanning's way when he received a walk through to the final with Owen Wright's unfortunate exit.
They said I have a tear in my eardrum. I was prepared to go out and surf and just plug it up with some blue tack and hopefully it would go all right, but the other injuries that I got definitely weren't letting me go out there. It was shattering when we were doing the test this morning, and Chris was like, nope, and then we did another test and he was like, nope, and I was just like, oh. I'm taking the positives out of it. I've had a great run this event. I've got a third overall, and yeah, you just got to take the positives out of it, I guess.
So for the third time in the past 4 events, current number 1 Mick Fanning was through to the final. This time up against fellow countryman and number 5 in the world, B. Durbidge.
Yeah, beating Mick. All Aussie again. Rematch from France.
I think Mick's going to take it out. He looks pretty headstrong at the moment and looks like he wants to fight someone. So.
A true student of focus and adaptability, Fanning continued his unfaultable form, lacerating the punchy wedges on his forehand to net a solid 6.67 and a 6-point ride. Durbidge, employing a similar strategy to his semi-final battle against Parko, opted to surf the shifting left-handers, but was unable to answer to Mick, scoring only a 4.27 and 5.6. Leaving Fanning to claim the 2009 Rip Curl Pro Search.
I'm stoked to get second, but yeah, you always want to win, and got that little bit of disappointment, but yeah, can't complain. It's been a great event for me, and yeah, feel good.
Mate, Speed's insane. Anytime you come up against him, he's going to put in a huge effort, and you know, he's a great friend, but you know, he's just a true asset to the sport. It was really testing conditions out there today. It was just one of those typical hard-working days, and you know, I got lucky and put on a couple of sixes and turned out to be enough.
Fanning's win here cements his lead, 368 points ahead of Parko on the ASP World Tour ratings. Far ahead enough to put Adriana de Souza out of the title race, leaving Parko as his only threat. The 2009 ASP World title race now shifts to the final event of the year, the Billabong Pipeline Masters.
Anything could happen at any contest, but, you know, even pipe more so, like, really anything could happen.
You know, both those guys are going to be charging, and that's what it's about.
It's like the Hollywood ending, to, you know, for surfing.
As the pack-up begins, the question remains, where will the surge take us next year?